Is there a support Dracthyr coming? So let's take a look at this. There's a few new data mine quests that are sort of suggesting a third Evoker spec being planned. It's described as boosting/healing allies. So is this...
No, it's not.
Oh?
No, it's not. Be clear with your wording. It's definitely not. So the way it works
Has
is...
Dakor lied to us?
I think everyone's taking this a little bit out of exact context.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so if you go through there, it should be in there. If you go down to the third bit, it says there, the contingency. See what it says there? As the initial release, blah, blah, boss fight, boost heal Abyssian and Emberthal, most efficient method, or throw damage on Adamantia. The only part of this is the new spec. Says at the top there, you'll see, upon login, you are toasted with new specialization remembered. We have no idea whether or not you're supposed to be in this spec to do this. This is largely speculation, but it is, boost is a very interesting term to use. So it doesn't imply that this is exactly it, but there is something there. I mean, it's not described as boosting healing allies. It is theoretically, possibly implied to be boosting, which is a mild difference, but it is still, there's very much a hint of a third spec coming for Evokers, although it will not be in Tempo 1, because we've been told there's no third spec.
Well, if you just look at this, though, it seems like this is the Evoker getting to make a choice of what they do in a boss fight.
Yeah, which could, like, boost heal Abyssian could very well be use Bloodlust. And that's it. If you know what I mean.
I don't think this will be a third spec.
So that's the thing.
They already have a healing spec, and Blizzard have long talked about the issues of like having overt support classes.
That's why I'm not against this as an idea.
Yeah.
But this is why I'm thinking about going, I don't imagine them making a support spec. However, it is undeniable. God, my throat's destroyed. It's undeniable that text there does say, upon login, you are toasted with new specialization remembered. Specialization could only mean one thing in the context of a class-wide thing that's immediately linked to a quest. So there's almost certainly a third spec that was at some point considered to be in 10.1. However, we've been told there's no third spec in 10.1. However, it could then be in 10.2. And it could be support. There's evidence to suggest it. There's evidence that they're suggesting a third spec. And there's evidence that they were far enough along with the third spec that they put it in some working quest notes as a plan for this. Because that quest about Adamantia wouldn't fly in 10.2 because 10.1 is about the Dracthyr. So it's possible that they planned this and then they didn't actually, they weren't able to go through it in time, or maybe they pulled back and went, maybe we shouldn't do this. Maybe we'll kick this can down the road and do it later in 10.2 whenever we have more time to plan it, more time to think about it. There's maybe that, but I do think there's evidence that they're doing something. And I can't imagine them not doing it.
Support would be interesting if you ended up, if they were doing... I suppose it would be, imagine if you gave somebody like PI, but then the extra throughput from PI is counted as coming from your character. There's a way you could do that with a support where it's like, you boost somebody's attack or do something with an ally, but it just happens on your damage meter. I don't know. Weird hokey things.
There's so many issues with that.
You see that? Yeah, there are, and Blizzard have consistently talked about those issues. So
yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. I know people talk about the support and how much people would love a support, but in a world where Priest gets PI and half of the high-end community are on fire about it for literally years, and it's asked to the game director multiple times, and they have to go, that's not the game we're making. That's not the game we're making. This is either a support spec would be them either going literally go after yourselves, to hell with you. We're going to make the game we want, and if you want to cry about it. But I don't think that's how they'll ever engage. So I can't imagine they would have a pure support ever. But a tank spec, on the other hand, considering the plot of Tempo 1, considering the fact that if you look into how because Adamantia, and it's all about Adamantia this little bit, right? Because you see it's there. It's you end up with freeing or stopping Abyssian from freeing Adamantia. Adamantia being the black dragon who's effectively the kind of the mother figure to the Dracthyr. as opposed to Neltharion being the absent father figure to Sarkareth, as Steve Denizer pointed out. So there's a little bit of, hey, here's Adamantia. In the translated journals of Adamantia that you find in 10.0.7, which is the patch specifically setting up Embers of Neltharion.
Yeah.
There's a bit where she talks to Neltharion and he orders her to remove the Black Dragonflight essence from the Dracthyr. And it's implied that that's why they don't have their Black Dragonflight abilities, why they don't have that tanky stuff, why they have spells. Obviously, they do have the... I can't remember the name of it, but the Obsidian Scales, the defense that they have is a black ability. So the rest of it, like narratively and thematically, it lines up that it's, you do whatever Adamantia, you go to Aberys where they were born, you go to Aberys, you defeat Sarkareth at the end, and whatever power was there, there's a chance that they could get their Black Dragonflight essence back as part of the Dracthyr and their legacy. They're like, okay, we pledge never to be like Neltharion, give us the tankiness, and then a tank spec unlocks in 10.2.
That would be cool.
You could very much see that.
All right, okay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Deep Breath is black as well as an ability. So, yeah, it's like you could completely see how they'd be able to go, hey, here's mostly Black Dragonflight, a little bit of Bronze Dragonflight, a little bit of Red and Green, tank.
Yeah, they could go whole hog into that. Yeah.
Yeah, you could see that.
Okay. Right.
Very good.
I'm down.
Yep.
I mean, hey, to get another spec mid-expansion, that would be pretty crazy.
Yeah.
And to have that be happening in the major patch after a total gear system overhaul would also be kind of crazy.
That's the thing where based on what I've seen about 10.1, the PTR, I'm like, yeah, Blizzard are the kind of people who will go, yeah, we've got the trees. Yeah, rework the tree and throw in another spec. Because that's the thing before. I would have said, no, they'll never put a third spec in. Because if they planned a third spec and then put the class tree in as it is, because the class tree would need fully reworked to support a tank spec as well. Because it just literally would need. But I looked and go, oh yeah, they've reworked Prop Paladin at 0.07. They're reworking Shadow Priest in 10.1. The chance...
Oh!
Yeah.
What?
Oh, did you know that?
No.
Yeah, they're reworking Shadow Priest in 10.1.
I don't know.
People are mixed
I
on
don't know
PTR.
how to feel yet. Uh-oh.
Yeah, so we'll talk about that later as well. But I think what was I going to say? Yeah, the fact that they went, hey, here's the Evokers. Don't you guys like them? And everyone went, what are these little pansy twink motherfucking casters? I want a big burly dragon that can tank and melee. And they were like, aw, but we tried really hard to nick these.
And you're like, no, I want Iron Bull and nothing else.
Yeah, and then people are just like, you know what? Yeah, we like them okay. People actually do enjoy them when they play them. Like, yeah, fine. Maybe they haven't landed fully, but, you know, with what I've seen, I can definitely see this Blizzard, these developers, and I can't believe I'm saying this, look at all that feedback and go, like back in, in 2022 when it was announced, I go, yeah, throw it in the pile. We'll make a tank spec for them. Yeah, give it a try. Does anyone have any ideas? Does anyone have a spare couple months to work on it? And there's probably loads of people going like, I don't have them spare, but I could try, because that's what all of their development seems to be. Well, parallelization, just constantly do everything.
Specifically the word Ian said, parallelization. Yeah. They just have so many more resources that they can apply at a longer time horizon. It essentially just seems to be that. Mm-hmm. Okay, exactly. Well, hey, there's some hope in that.